talked about Star Ocean Blue Sphere before in my comparison article on my blog, but I never did a review of it because my comparison article just about covered everything. But for the sake of brevity, this will give you a good idea as to what to expect playing Star Ocean Blue Sphere. The game features numerous playable characters, each with their own skills and movesets that can be used both in and out of battle. This encourages players to change up their party frequently. The problem is that the characters all share the same pool of skill points, and this means that you will mostly stick with the same 3 characters throughout, only changing up your party if they are required to access certain areas and dungeons. You see, Star Ocean Blue Sphere's dungeons feel very Zelda inspired in terms of how you progress. You have walls that can be blown up by bombs, and certain areas are inaccessible unless you just happen to have a specific character's field skill. The dungeons are huge and brimming with secrets, though at the same time they are very confusing, making them very hard to navigate. Some of the dungeons have tricky puzzles to solve too. It's so unapologetically Zelda-like in this regard, for better or for worse. What isn't Zelda-like, however, is the level of freedom you have in regards to the game's skill system. Unlike the other Star Ocean games, you don't level up or gain experience. Instead, each battle gives you skill points which are put into a pool shared between characters, and you invest them into skills which not only make your characters stronger in battle, but can also let them learn new item creation techniques. The item creation now has minigames, some of which are simplistic and can be mildly amusing, while others can be really frustrating to do, like the machinery minigame. The combat plays out like a combination of both Tales of Phantasia and Legend of Dragoon. The distance between the character and the enemy ultimately decides what moves are used, and there's a wide variety of normal attacks in this game, which is great. Unlike the other games, however, comboing attacks is done in the same way additions are done in Legend of Dragoon, in the sense that they are a timing mechanic. There's a stamina system that is completely invisible to the player that punishes you for attacking too much, and this stamina system is completely invisible, making it difficult to know when you are running low on it. In addition, some enemies can kill you instantly with an attack that wouldn't normally kill you, and this can happen at any moment. Thankfully, you no longer have to deal with the delay that comes from using items like in the other games. However, this can make the game a little too easy as you can spam items to win fights. Money is very hard to come by, as it can only be acquired by selling materials dropped by enemies. Those materials will likely be used for item creation, so it may be worth keeping them for that. The music is pretty good for a Game Boy Color game, but the hardware limitations make it inferior to the music from the other games. I still enjoyed it though, as I love Motoi Sakuraba. The visuals have the same problem, but there's some really interesting locations to visit in this game that more than makes up for this. The story is very bare bones and characters rarely interact. There are a few private actions in the game, but not many. Then again, this game assumes that you've played the second story, so it doesn't really need any more character building. Overall, it's a very different experience from the other games, but is similar enough for fans to enjoy it, particularly those who enjoyed the second game.